Hello there. This is Greg Gilbert, host of Python's Paradise, co-producer on 13 Fanboy and Victim No More. Skittles here, my loyal companion. Yes, he's been guarding a package for me because I got called into work when somebody was out sick. Yes. What package was you guarding, Skittles? Skittles was guarding a pack. Yeah, he didn't want to be on camera. Look at this shirt. I gotta rock this. Yes, folks, it has arrived, and I've already ripped through it because I've already tried to do this video once. Ran out of storage space. But look at that. Shout Factory. Friday the 13th box set. Well, I got this. I got on this early because this one here had some posters that come with it, and I wanted to get in on that. I wanted to get on the action. I'm going to try to show these off because these posters are pretty big. I've seen other unboxing videos and a tube. I've had some tubes come in here before, but okay. Now this is for the 40th anniversary of Friday the 13th. Look at that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful artwork. We got Annie over there, slouched by the Jeep, Crazy Ralph, Steve in the tree, Mrs. Voorhees, Marcy. Not looking like a picnic there at all. But yeah, look at that beautiful artwork. That was one of the posters. Of course, Adrian King. It's real cutie. Now this, of course, is the whole... Look at this. This one here is going to be harder to keep open. Look at this. Yes, all the variations of Jason through these movies. There we go. And this, folks, is where it gets tricky. Putting these two back in the tube. There we are. Can we make it work? I think we can. I like this Friday the 13th, the final chapter shirt. I just got it recently. Now I'm going to go through the disc set, but I'm not going to talk about all the extras on there because it's just going to take too much time. I don't have the light on here, so I can't see it all that well anyway. So here we go, all packed away. Yeah, that knock came on the door this morning. Then I got called in for work. Okay. Look at that. There we go. More on the side. All this extra stuff. And look at that. All the movies. I grew up with this franchise. I would have been 8 years old when the original came out. I had an uncle that owned a video store. He owned a video store from 1981 to 1988. He had the first 6 movies of the franchise there. The first one, the video tape was defective, but we did see parts 2, 3, and 4 from that video store. I'm going to move these out just a little bit so I can get at them. Just enough, or maybe. Here's the original. I've interviewed 3 people from this movie. Adrienne King, who is the heroine Alice, Robbie Morgan, who is Annie, and Victor Miller, the screenwriter, has been a guest twice. And this has got the rated and unrated version, 4K scan. Should be interesting. There we go. I'm not going to go through all the extras because I just don't have time, but I'm going to give you the gist of it. Slip that back in here. Now, I saw the original at a midnight screening years ago, and it was playing one night, and From Dusk Till Dawn was playing one night. Here's part 2. Now, I'm looking forward to seeing the cut footage from this film. That was an interesting story on how they found that, because this film was threatened with an X rating. I have interviewed, of course, Adrienne King. I've interviewed Russell Todd. And I've interviewed Warrington Gillette, who is Jason coming through the window with a scary looking face. Now, this is October 13th, 2020. So these are the interviews I have up at this point. One of the interesting factors about this film is that this was the first one of the franchise I seen. I was a young lad, and Kirsten Baker, who played Terry, became the very first woman I ever seen naked. Yeah. Interesting. And Russell Todd had told me in my interview with him that Kirsten Baker would probably enjoy hearing that story. Part 3, which was shot in 3D, I have interviewed David Cadams, who played Chuck, and the absolutely gorgeous Tracy Savage, who played Debbie. I had a big crush on Tracy Savage from this film. And this has got the theatrical and the 3D version. I don't have a 3D TV or player here, but I heard the 3D is terrific. So that's part 3. One of my favorites, Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. Ted White is my favorite Jason. And he is right now the only guest I've had from this movie. He played Jason. I think he was the scariest to don the hockey mask. He's been on my show twice. And I'll tell you, if you followed his career at all, he didn't just play Jason, but he's worked with John Wayne, Clark Gable, Lee Marvin, Rock Hudson. He knew Marilyn Monroe before she was Marilyn Monroe. This guy had some stories. Worked with Jeff Bridges and Starman. I mean, this guy's had quite a career. But he was my favorite Jason. I think he was the scariest Jason out of the bunch. So, yeah, Friday the 13th, the final chapter. I'm hoping to get more guests from that movie, but you know what? If I don't, I've had Ted White twice. Now, this is not exactly the theatrical poster for Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. But here it is. I've interviewed 6 people from this movie. It's the most I've interviewed from any one film of the franchise. Interestingly enough, it's divided 50-50. 3 females, 3 males. The 3 females, I've interviewed Debbie Sue Voorhees, who played Tina. She's been on my show 4 times, and she's the director of 13 Fanboys, so I get a connection with her because I'm one of the co-producers on that film. So she's been on my show 4 times thus far. I have a feeling I'm going to have her again. The beautiful Melanie Kinnaman, who played Pam Roberts, has been on my show twice. Tiffany Helm, who played Violet, who did that really cool robotic dance, she's been on my show. She's supposed to come on again. She was supposed to come on again this year, but because of COVID, I wasn't able to make that work, but I plan to have her back. Um, I've had Ron Sloan, who played Junior, on my show, and he's coming on my show again because he's in 13 Fanboy. And I've had Bob DeSimone, who played the the ambulance drivers, or so who the guy that snorted the stuff up his nose. I don't think I was an ambulance driver, but one of the ones that drove Tommy to Pinehurst. So that was fun, and he was a great guy. And Corey Parker, who was one of the greasers, he's been on my show as well. So part 5, A New Beginning, which was very, very sleazy outing. This, I think, is probably this is easily one of the best, if not the best one of the franchise. Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. I saw this in Toronto on my 2019 trip up there on midnight screening, and this is the one you want to see with an audience. And I've interviewed 5 people from it, and one of them is this young lady who wasn't looking so good in the shot, but yes, Nancy McLaughlin has been a guest on my show 3 times, and she and I are still very much in touch to all this time later. And Tom McLaughlin, the director, has been on my show a couple times, and I would like to see him direct another film. He has a script ready. He certainly has a knack for writing interesting characters and humor. Tom Matthews, who getting into a blast in the lake there with Jason, he's been on my show a couple times. Carrie Noonan, who played Paula, who was a good girl, followed all the rules, but didn't make it. How weird is that? And Whitney Ryback, who played Roy, champion paintballer, had him on. Love this movie. And up next, one I saw when it originally came out at the Twin Cinemas across the river, which is no longer open. I've interviewed one person from this movie, Lar Park Lincoln. And she's lovely. She was telekinetic Tina. I remember when I saw this, I wasn't old enough to see it, and neither was my brother, but we somehow got in. A guy who was dressed up like Jason with a machete ripping tickets. So I'm not talking about all the extras on this because I just don't have time, but I'm just showing you the set. I love these nice clear casings. This here is part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. They're going to do a reboot. This is the one they should reboot because it's pretty bad because studios were not very giving about the budget. I've got to wonder what this could have been. I've interviewed 3 people from this movie, and one of those 3 people is my favorite part about it, Peter Mark Richmond, who is a professor. He's worked with Gary Cooper in his past, you know. I mean, every scene he's in, he steals it. I loved him in this movie. He's been a guest on my show twice. Tiffany Paulson's been on my show, and he was one of the female victim at the beginning, and Michael Beignet, who was one of the muggers and drug dealers. Um, he was on as well, so Jason Takes Manhattan. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday is the only Friday the 13th film, to my recollection, never to play here in Fredericton. We didn't get it. This one here, it's got the rated and unrated version of it. A lot of people do not like this movie, but I think out of all the Friday the 13th films that Kane Hodder was part of, I think this is the best one. Now, that might be an uncommon opinion, but I am right now an associate producer on Hearts of Darkness, The Making of the Final Friday. And Adam Marcus is going to answer all your questions. He's going to address all the controversy. He's going to talk about all the decisions made in making this film. And I'm looking forward to seeing that documentary. Because Adam takes a lot of shit for this film, but I do not think this is the worst of the series. Now, is it my favorite? Nope, not even close, but I think it's far from being the worst. This is the worst of the series, Jason X. I saw this in the theater. There was so much laughter, you'd think this was a comedy. I call this the room of the franchise. But because it's so laughable, it kind of makes it a fun watch as well. I mean, it is horrible. It's truly horrible. But, hey, you do have this lovely robotic chick who is my favorite part of the movie. Lisa Ryder. Gotta like her. Freddy vs. Jason. I saw this in the theater. I've interviewed Zach Ward, who's seen it briefly, and I wish he was in more of it. I know him best from Postal and A Christmas Story. Freddy vs. Jason, this movie, they've been planning this movie since Jason Lives, the ending of Jason Lives in 1986. It came out in 2003. A long time. This is the reboot. The reboot. I saw this in the theater. Now, here's one thing I can tell you about the reboot that I would kind of like you to take into consideration. I don't look at it as a reboot. I kind of look at it as a sequel. I mean, you got the flashback of the mother beheading at the beginning. But look at it this way. If you look even after Jason Takes Manhattan, you know, he always loses his hockey mask. What's he going to go back to? He's going to go back to Sackhead. Once he goes back to Sackhead, you could almost continue it right there. And, you know, once he goes back to Sackhead, because there's a moment when he finds a hockey mask in this, there's almost like a double take. Like he recognizes it. So I almost look at this as a sequel. You could, anyway. Derek Mears really kills it as Jason. He does a great job. Characters are utterly forgettable, but nonetheless, I'm just going to look at it like a sequel, and then maybe I might enjoy it more. And then we have this. Now this has got a bunch of extra stuff on it. Like Harry Manfredini, the person who does all the music and various stuff. This is a double disc collection right there. So folks, I am going to leave you with that. That was my unboxing of the Friday the 13th box set. Just got it today. And sorry, my video ran out of space when I went to put it on here, but here I'm doing it again, so trying to make it as authentic as I can. So I am going to sign out here. I am eventually going to do a ranking video on the Friday the 13th movies, just to looking at these disc ranking video on these to share my rankings, since I officially now have them all. These, we got lovely Adrian King in the canoe there. But nonetheless, I got this package. I got right on it whenever this came in, so there we go. This is my unboxing video. Shout Factory, looks like they did a terrific job on this. So, folks, if you get a chance, pick this up. I don't imagine they're going to last very long. So this is Python signing out. I'm going to be checking these out. See you at Crystal Lake.